Hello, race fans. Welcome to the Cyber Thunder Rising Star Series brought to you by the Bullydog Coffee Company. I'm John, and with me today is Tom, and we're here at Pocono Motor Speedway for 50 laps around this track at the Tricky Triangle.
Yeah, John, 50 laps around this 2.5 mile speedway out here tonight. Going to be lots of new faces out here. 18 drivers currently taking times with Andrew Kotska, Brian Dorsey, Sean Hook. All your top three out here tonight. John, looking forward to a great race out here tonight, and gonna have to see who comes out on top here in about another hour or so. But John, we were talking last week about the point standings and how they've gotten really close. So we've got this week and next week Pocono Raceway, and then we have Atlanta Motor Speedway, which is going to close out our regular series season out here tonight. But Eric Moore, Bill Juddy, Tyler Beeman, we're going to go ahead and call those guys good on points. It looks like they're going to make the top six in points and contend for the Bully Dog Coffee Cup at the end of June here. But highlighting a couple names down here: Paul Turner, Brian Dorsey, David Gainforth, all kind of on the bubble here, John.
Yeah, I think as we see the people on the bubble in yellow, Paul Turner as of late has been going down. Brian Dorsey right now being second fastest, but in front of him is Andrew Koska, who's 2 points behind him in the standings. So there's still very interesting play. At key, we see Jerry Isaac just outside the window. Our winner at Daytona, he can get in there with a really good finish at the end of the season, but it's going to be interesting to see how the points finish towards the chase.
Yeah, John, and with just two races remaining before we do cut that chase grid and we make six drivers eligible to become the next champion here in the Bully Dog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series. Andrew Kotska has won four races this season. Does he have enough time to make his way up into the top six here, John?
If he could get maybe two more wins, yes, but I think he's going to need at least podium finishes each time for the last two races in order to get in. That'll take a lot of hard work. He's been able to do it so far, but it'll be very hard to maintain that kind of momentum going forward.
Yeah, well, momentum is key, and that's going to be where Andrew Kotska, he's running out of time to get there, but he's certainly shown that he's got the speed to do it. So Andrew Kotska moving up or moving out, John?
Oh, I'm going to say moving in. I think he's going to move in. It really depends on how Brian Dorsey does tonight. I don't think David Gainforth is going to really go out there and get it. Paul Turner, like I said, especially with the lack of qualifying ability, he's going to be going down. So it's going to be very tough to say no to Kotska, especially on the tear he's been. I mean, he's gotten 4 pounds of free coffee as trophies.
So yeah, he's hyped up on that Bully Dog coffee. So it sounds like you're putting Andrew Kotska in. So if you're moving Andrew Kotska in, who are you moving out?
Paul Turner for sure. I think Cole Gray, he's been very consistent. He does a really good job on finishing races. Don Carter, same thing. He does a really good job at just finishing the race. Paul Turner, we've seen him move up to the field, but struggles in the start and also struggles at the end. Very rarely do we really see him solidify a good finish. So he'll be my driver out.
All right, so you're taking Paul Turner out. You're putting Andrew Kotska in. As much as I hate to do this, I after tonight we'll have a much better idea. But if there's a sleeper that's going to make it in, I believe you're going to be taking a look at Brian Dorsey. Brian Dorsey currently second on the speed charts right now. Brian, one of those guys that's always there at the end of the races. We've interviewed him multiple times this season with the top three finish, and one more good run out here tonight, and maybe a slip by Cole Gray, Paul Turner, or even Dalton Carter. It's a very tight points battle out there. I think Brian Dorsey's going to find his way in. I'm just not sure who's going to be falling out of that.
Now, and all this stemmed from is exactly how you said. Well, it'll be a lot better picture tonight. Say if Andrew Costco was to win, no matter where Brian Dorsey finishes, they're gonna, or no matter where David Gainforth finishes, they're gonna flip flop automatically. So that's gonna close a gap to even Brian Dorsey himself and David Gainforth and Paul Turner. So it's gonna like I said, it's just gonna be very interesting. All four cars within 11 points of each other, so it's gonna be really close race to the end of the season.
It really is, John. And you know what? I mean, I know we talked about this a lot at the beginning of the season, but you, when you get down to this point in the season, you start to think about all those 1 point bonuses that you might have missed. Could you have stayed out, led a lap? Could you have, led the most laps and gained another bonus point, or even won a race and gotten those 3 bonus points as well? So if it comes down to that, I know that one of those guys is going to be thinking about those single point bonuses that they could have grabbed that they might have missed. But this week, 50 laps out here tonight at Pocono Raceway, the 2.5 mile tricky triangle out here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Next week, we go to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then things are going to heat up where we're going to go ahead and start the race to the championship, beginning with Michigan, Kentucky, Talladega, Darlington, and then finally, somebody's going to be lifting up that uh, that championship tumbler at the end of the season from Freedom Loving Tumblers at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Elena, with this track right here, these cars are gonna get a little spaced out, but it's gonna be really close to see how they're gonna battle each other, especially for these points. Elena's gonna be all about the tire wear, and then the chase is gonna be some intense, very close racing. That, the intensity will go up, and the racing is gonna be a little bit tougher for those chase drivers, because especially those nine in the chase, they want to finish the season strong. The only way you can do that is winning a race.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a look at guys like Andrew Kotska right now. I mean, you're slating him to get in. I'm not on that boat just yet. We'll see how the points look after we leave the tricky triangle out here tonight. I'm not on that boat just yet, but you know, Andrew could play spoiler in this chase in 2 weeks when we start that up at Michigan Speedway. But currently following Cole Gray and Kyle Nadeau out on track right now. Cole looking right on the points, but currently sits 16th on the charts. Kyle Nadeau, 15th on the speed charts right in front of him as they go down here into the tunnel turn. And Kyle Nadeau is going to make that pass. Cole Gray tries to maybe think about a crossover and thinks better of it. Just goes side by side into turn 3. But with 6 minutes remaining here, John, who do you got's going to come home with the big checkered flag out here tonight?
You know, I think if Kazka's gonna want to make the chase, he has to get the win. So I'm gonna go with him, as we see Cal Native give just a little love tap to Cole Gray, turning him around. But yeah, I think Kazka has to pull out the victory. So winning in for me. So yeah, Andrew Kazka, 47 car for
All
the
right.
fifth time.
All right, well, John going out on a limb, as some might say, out on a limb, picking the 47 machine to go to victory lane for the 5th time on the season out here. We want to know who everybody out in YouTube land has going to victory lane tonight. Do you guys got Sean Hook going to victory lane? You guys got Andrew Kotska, series favorite, Brian Dorsey. You got somebody maybe like Bill Jetty, who's ran strong all season long, hasn't been able to find his way into victory lane just yet. But scrolling down the list out here tonight, John, this is a track that I think Eric Moore is going to really start getting the momentum back out on his side and start getting that 5 machine ready for the championship run. I think Eric's going to wind up in victory lane here tonight.
Yeah, this is, you could take a track like this and apply a little bit of the knowledge to Michigan, which is going to be the first race of the chase. And with that, this it'll be really important for the five car to have a good race and put out a strong performance. Kind of give you a hope, a good hope to start the chase with.
4 minutes remaining here in opening practice. David Gainforth comes down the Long Pond straightaway. He's going to bring that 101 Quaker State machine down to a crawl. We'll find Scott Crouch out here headed down the same Long Pond straightaway, headed down into the tunnel turn for. Actually, looks like it might be his. For the first time out here tonight, Scott Crouch comes around here into turn number 3.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and stay with him as up. You see him kind of get a little loose. You're going to go up against the wall and go ahead, read the newspaper. down the front straightaway, massive. As you'll see, these cars sometimes on this restart will go 3 wide as they jockey for position. Gonna barrel all the way down here. See the 2-1 cone. Gonna veer off right, ease into the brakes, but definitely off throttle. Wait for the car to hook up. It's gonna be a very late apex essentially from like right there. Sling off for this backstretch into the tunnel turn. Another great opportunity to pass with these straightaways. You can easily draft these cars, so the front and second straightaway are going to be massive. The tunnel turn imitates Indy. Very hard corner to do. You're off apex like he is right here. The car's going to go wide right into the wall just like that. This corner, with it being a shorter straightaway, is not going to be as much passing as we see. Scott's going to peel off, but the last corner, turn 3, taken very late. You can see the cars are going to be, not on the bottom, but are going to be maybe half a groove or even a full groove up and get a really good exit so he go down the front straight with as much speed as possible.
And just like that, that's a lap. That's a mouthful. That's a lap around Pocono Raceway. Little bit under 3 minutes remaining here in opening practice. We're going to go ahead and throw this trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem, and we will be back with your full Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series qualifying.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, back live at the Pocono Raceway out here tonight. Currently still following Kyle Nadeau out here. And we are joined out here tonight by Race Control. Race Control is joining us up in the cyber booth out here tonight for the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series tonight live from Pocono Raceway. Chris Wold joins us in the booth. Chris, you got us.
Yep, I got you.
All right, Chris. Well, John and I, we were just talking a few minutes ago. We made our picks. He picked Andrew Kotska, and I picked Eric Moore. Who are you going to pick to go to victory lane out here tonight?
You know, those are some pretty good picks because if I remember last year, this was kind of the race where our traditional front runners kind of made their way up towards the front and hung out there. So I still think, even though he's not showing real strong right now in the practice times, but a lot of that just be not getting out there with a good draft. But I think the 28, Bill Jett, may have something for everyone out here. He was running strong last week. And kind of some things late fell apart, but I think he may be a surprise runner tonight.
Well, you can never really count out Bill. Bill has been second in the points almost the entire season, was the early points season leader, and ultimately did lose it to Eric after the Auto Club race where Eric went to victory lane. But practice is coming to a close out here. We're going to have 5 minutes, 2 laps for these guys to go out here, put a hot lap down, and we'll see who comes away with the pole out here tonight from Pocono. As we always do, we're going to look for the first car out on track, and we'll follow them along for their 2 laps. First car out on track, Kyle Nadeau, gonna be leaving pit road in that 197 Monte Carlo.
Old school throwback Gordon scheme from what? Early 2000s Talladega?
I believe that was the paint scheme that he got beer cans thrown at him, but I can't remember for a fact. But Kyle Nadeau, it was. He gets that 197 machine wound up all the way up by the wall, now down onto the bottom of the tunnel turn. high up out of turn number 2. He's going to come around, take the green flag for his first lap here.
Yeah, like we said before, you can go down the tunnel turn, not go all the way on the yellow line. I guess you could do on your first lap here, but car's gonna get a little loose like that. Not a great start as he gets ready to go down the front stretch.
At the start finish line this time, carrying all that momentum in, we're going to see him head all the way down, going past the 3, going past the 2, going past the 1, into turn number 1. He's going to bring that machine to about the middle of the track, try to bring it down as close as he possibly can to the yellow line, coming out of turn number 2.
Nice exit out of turn 1, all the way up against the wall. Taking his time as he hits the tunnel turn. He's going to really have to attack this to carry a lot of speed through here. Very fine line as he dips down into the tunnel turn. Down there near the yellow line. Let the car easy drift up right against the wall, and you're good to go for turn 3.
And into turn number 3 for the first lap out here tonight. Kyle Nadeau coming through turns 3. There is no turn 4 here. At turn number 4, we'll see where that lap is going to post him on the speed charts as he comes across the line. First time by, that's going to be good enough for a 56.52 at the top of the speed charts right now. Cody Richardson over Kyle Nadeau by just about 100th of a second.
Yeah, and I don't think Kyle's going to get any faster on this second. I saw it coming out at 3 there, little bit sideways, had to catch it, and I think that cost him a little bit of time going down. Turn 3 to exit. If you can't get that right, that completely will slow down your roll for that long straightaway into turn 1.
Yeah, we see him do it both times, like even on his warm-up lap coming to the green. If you just go too low, there's just not enough grip for the car with it being as flat of a corner as it is. So the car just wants to, you want to get it away from the low line as much as possible as he goes back down there again.
Out of turn number 3 for the second time for Kyle Nadeau. Find out where he comes across the line this time by. That time by was a 56.68, so does slow down by about 1/10 of a second here. Let's see if we can find another car on track. Jeff Dotson coming through turn 3 to complete his second qualifying lap here in that double O Dodge that you liked oh so much last week, John.
It's a good throwback scheme.
Jeff Dotson goes to 11th on the board with the 57.0. Good enough for 11th, right behind Brian Dorsey. Hard contact down there.
So we got Andrew Koska getting ready to enter turn 3. So hasn't put in a lap yet, so we'll see where he's at on the boards here soon.
As we watch all these drivers go around here, Andrew Kotsko already sitting on 4 pounds of Bullydog coffee from Bullydog Coffee Company and our friends over there, Patrick and that team. Patrick gave us another promo code that all of our friends, family, and drivers can use here tonight. The promo code is APEX, APEX, for $5 off of any coffee order from BullydogCoffeeCompany.com. And he also sent me another message. So they are preparing a championship trophy for whoever comes out on top at the end of June from Freedom Loving Tumblers. They're also giving us a coupon code as well. Go ahead and veterans, first responders get 10% off using ThankVet10.
Tell you what, looking though at the leaderboard so far, Sean Hook on pole with the 56-36, but very interesting top 5. Andrew Koska crossing the line at a 56.62, so he doesn't improve. So it's Sean Hook with followed by Bill Jetty, Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadeau, and Andrew Koska, top 5.
Yeah, and Chris, you know what? John and I were talking about this earlier in the pre-race while you were still doing your race control duties down there. One driver in particular that did not choose to turn a qualifying lap out here tonight is Paul Turner, who is on the points bubble. Chris, what do you think about that?
I think this track, probably not the move I would have made. Maybe at Atlanta next week if you're still in the bubble, knowing it's a little bit more of a slick track. Here at Pocono, though, I think positioning right at the start is super important. It's just hard to pass when you get here outside of just setting cars up in the turns. But if you can't make it done early, as soon as you get that tire wear, it's just real hard to get the grip off the corners and make that move that you need to do. So I don't. What's the dodgeball? It's a risky move, Cotton. See if it works out for him.
That it is. These drivers go into a 5-minute happy hour session out here. Sean Hook going to be your pole sitter for tonight's event. Bill Jetty, Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadeau, and Andrew Kotska going to be rounding out the top 5. And where did my pick qualify? My pick, Eric Moore, qualified in the 12th position out here. So he's got a ways to go if he wants to get up there and come away with the checkered flag at the end of the evening.
Yeah, I was kind of talking about that turn 3 exit, and one piece that I noticed here was Sean was the only one to gain time on that second lap. So that's just how important that exit of turn 3 is. It completely sets up your next lap for you, and it's a long ways around here to have a bad lap.
Some new faces joining us out here in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars series out here tonight. Michael Stuyvesant, currently sitting 16th on the speed charts right now, qualified. I guess he qualified 16th. Those are the times that we're looking at still. Mike Stuyvesant going to be starting in the 16th position out here tonight. So he's going to be starting from the rear of the field. Got a long ways to go, but he's going to be trying to bring that 76 machine up to the front here tonight at Pocono. Good to see some new faces out here and maybe contend for the win.
Yeah, it's a really big field here for Pocono, so it's going to be interesting to see how, especially the start of the race, how quick, big they're going to fan out, try to pounce on positions, and on top of that, throughout the race, how aggressive are they going to be with this track being hard to pass. It's going to be interesting to see where these drivers are going to attack.
Yeah, and typically, John, at Pocono Motor Speedway, you'll typically see relatively long green flag runs here, especially if we get past the first lap or two and these guys get some distance between them and the other guys. But the restarts are going to be very critical, whether it be just the one start that we see out here tonight or if we have multiple restarts. This front stretch is wider than any other straightaway on the NASCAR circuit, and you can easily fit 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7 wide going down into turn number 1. So that's going to be something that all these guys are going to have to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, the straightaway may handle it. Turn 1 won't.
Turn 1's very narrow when you get down there. Looks wide, but not at all. Very line sensitive.
One of the tell signs we'll see, this is what we saw in last year's race, where you could tell who still had tires and who didn't have tires, was all about the way that they could execute the tunnel turn and get that run into turn 3 to set themselves up for a pass on the straightaway. That seemed to be where most cars were making their ground up and catching everybody, and again, setting themselves up for a pass on the straightaway coming out of 3, but it was all set up in the tunnel turn.
Less than a minute in happy hour remaining out here tonight. Cody Richardson comes down pit road. He's practicing green flag pit stops with a do it for Crank 14 on the side. Still continuing to keep Crank Bell, our friend and family member out here at the Cyber Thunder Racing League, in our thoughts and our prayers. He's still continues to battle his fight with COVID-19, and we hope that we can have Crank back soon. And been a couple of weeks now, and hoping that he's able to make a return back out here very, very soon.
It's very important, like Cody's doing right there, practice your pivot entrance, because here, what would you say, Chris? Drivers are only going to have one pit stop needed. So with that, uh, if we go green all the way, that one stop makes or break your entire race right there.
Yeah, I think we'll have a one pit stop strategy here if we stay green the entire time. And yeah, it's tricky coming out of that corner on where the breaking point is to hit those cones as we get ready to grid up.
Field lines up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Down at the end of pit road, Sean Hook, your pole sitter, Bill Jetty. To his outside, Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadeau, and Andrew Kotska going to be your top 5.
Sorry about that. Starting 6, Tyler Beeman, the 91 car, followed by Zachary Chahalis in the 24, David Gainforth in the 101, starting 8th, Don Carr in the 53, starting 9th, and starting 10th, Jamie Capar in the 141.
Outside the top 10, Brian Dorsey on the points bubble trying to find his way in. Starts in the 11th position out here tonight. Points leader, Eric Moore, starts in the 12th position. Cole Gray is going to be rolling off 13th. Jeff Dotson and Anthony Hanna round out the top 15.
Mike Stiverson, the 76, was the last one to qualify, and Paul Turner, as we noted earlier in the broadcast, in a 4 on the Chase Bubble, starting 17th. Scott Crouch starting 18th in the 68, and Scott Whiteman in the 17, starting dead last in 19th.
Field comes through turn number 1 for the first time of the evening out here. iRacing.com pace car leads everybody down here. Bill Jetty, Sean Hook, Cody Richardson, and Kyle Nadeau. All these guys, they got to be thinking that this race could go green, so they're going to need to protect the positions while they can. But how do you protect the positions and save the tires at the same time, John?
Well, one best way to do is with your pit strategy, pit early. Be on the attack. Don't allow the car to pass you on the track. Kind of get away, because when you go out there on new tires and a car stays out longer, they're going to be on slower lap times where you're going to be on a faster lap time. So you can optimize that. But you run the risk at the very end of your fuel run being a lot worse off with more worn tires, and the cars behind you will most likely have fresher tires. Another way is race a track, don't race other cars. So if you see someone bearing down right behind you, go ahead, let them go, and race them later. Usually, people you see break out in a big lead have a hard time holding it here. But other than that, just take care of your equipment, have yourself a clean race, and you'll be doing pretty good at Pocono.
Silent night is a good night around Pocono Raceway. Field comes out of turn number 3 for the first time here tonight. iRacing.com pace car. Going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. John, let's go racing from the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series.
Really good start there by Bill Jetty on the outside there, all by himself. Looks like he's going to beat Sean down into turn 1 as the field starts going 2 by 2 behind Sean there for battle third.
Field comes through turns 1 for the first time out here tonight. Everybody playing nice coming out of turn number 2. Kyle Nadeau might have grabbed the wall there a tiny bit. Looked like he might have, maybe not. At turn number 2, side by side for Cody Richardson. The battle is for 4th place on the track right now.
Yeah, and teammates here battling. You don't want to go too hard, as we see Andrew Koska getting a really good run on the, or is that Tyler? They're all running the same paint scheme. They're messing me up too now. But yeah, Tyler there's now in 4th place. Andrew Koska getting by there in 5th, and the top 5 are a single file.
And out of turn number 3 for the first time here tonight at Pocono Raceway, Bill Jetty is going to grab a very important bonus point and lead lap number 1 over Sean Hook. Tyler Beeman now side by side with Kyle Nadeau, headed down into turn number 1.
Yeah, for Bill Jetty and Tyler Beeman here in the top 3, just a good run. You're just compounding your lead. But as we see Andrew here in 5th, Kyle Nadeau battling back. It's going to be interesting how Sean's going to push, and how is Bill Jetty going to, is he going to go out there for a win? He hasn't won yet this season.
Yeah, Bill has not been able to get it into victory lane just yet this season. Continuing to follow the battle for the lead out here tonight. Bill Jetty, Sean Hook, as they come around trying to complete lap number 2.
Yeah, they're running to each other, but you see behind, I see Kyle Nadeau in a string of Mad Sim cars right behind him in his mirror. And that's just a funny picture to see. It looks like a horn or a bee's hunting him down. As we got battle for the lead, Sean's going on the inside, Bill Jetty into turn 1.
Pass for the lead between the 28 and the 188 coming through turn 1 once again. Second lead change of the evening. Last time by, Sean Hook was about 2/10 better than Bill Jetty. Part of that could have been from the draft as well, but Bill's one of those guys. He likes to be very conservative on his tires, and Chris, that could really play into Bill's hand at the end of the race here.
Yeah, I think it'll really play in. I think he might have let him go. I noticed they were getting a little bit touch and go there coming out of the corner, and then I think he said, I'm going to save it for later. We'll get real aggressive later on.
Caution on the speedway for the first time this evening after just 3 laps around here. We're going to see if we can't find who was involved. I do believe that the 68 machine is good.
Actually, I would look at Eric Moore. It looks like on the exit of what is that, turn 2 there? They're 3 wide and just not enough for him to do something like that.
All right, well, we'll back this up here, see if we can't catch a live instant replay here. A little bit of contact between him, Zach Jahalis. Up and over once goes the number 5 machine. Tough start for the points leader out here tonight.
Yeah, Zach tries to go underneath David Gainforth, who goes way too high. David kind of cuts low, not a big deal. Zach reacts to it and doesn't realize Eric Moore's right there. Just unfortunate racing incident between those 2 cars, and sends Eric Moore upside down.
Heavy damage to the front of the 24, Zach Jahalis' machine as well, with a big old do it for crank on the front of that 24 Monte Carlo. So imagine he's going to go down there, use his first and only fast repair of the evening. He's going to try to restack, repack, and get going here from Pocono Raceway again.
Yeah, with those Pocono as big as it is, if you have to tow, you're not going to be as far off of the field as you would be as a normal track like Atlanta, where we'll be at next week. You know, as we see the field coming around, I'll be very hard pressed to see any car going down pit road. There's really early in the race, not necessary to pit. Doesn't really stretch your fuel run all the way. Tires aren't that used, so there's be no reason to pit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they had 3 laps at speed. You know, that's about enough to get the tires heated up and get some good rubbed off of it. But with 19 cars out here tonight, actually does look like quite a few drivers did elect to pit. Tyler Beeman looks like he's on pit road as well, so a couple of drivers electing to pit. Looks like the top 7 are going to be the people that stay out. First driver with new tires is going to be Tyler Beeman, and following right behind him with fresh tires, Andrew Kotzka in the 47.
You know, a lot of these cars too are the ones that we see were racing really hard, so it kind of gives you a chance to say, you know what, maybe didn't like the way you felt on that set, get you a fresh set, and go out there and see what we could do. And with that many cars, you're not going to lose that much position to the leaders, or from your original position anyway on the track.
Everybody starts to get caught back up here to the iRacing.com pace car. Coming around to complete lap number 5. Sean Hook, currently your leader. Bill Jetty running in second. Kyle Nadeau in third. Dalton Carter in fourth. And Brian Dorsey. He was the sleeper that we were talking about, John. You know, he doesn't necessarily... Yeah, the points are going to pay the most... The win's going to pay the most points, and that's going to help him get into the chase. But he doesn't necessarily need to go out here tonight, because the guy that he's battling for that final cut spot is Paul Turner, who's currently riding in 13th.
Yeah, and you know, he started 11th, so be able to go up 6 positions in 5 laps. Really good job. A little bit of strategy by staying out there, obviously, as we saw those cars go down pit road. So really good job to optimize your track position at a time. And you know, even if you were to lose a couple of positions, he's probably still a net gain 3 or 4 from where he is originally. So you need to get those points because Andrew Koska's behind. He's going to be trying to go up through the field. Paul Turner, he's in the back, like you said, trying to go through the field. So, you know, really crucial points he has to go out there and grab.
Yeah, so we're going to have to keep an eye on the 4 and the 9 out here tonight. See where Brian Dorsey finishes in relationship to Paul Turner. And, you know, Andrew Kotzka also trying to find his way in as well. So if Andrew gets up there and he contends here tonight, that's certainly going to help his case. I said before, I'll say it again, I'm not necessarily on the boat of putting the 47 in the chase at this moment just yet. We will have to take a look at it after tonight and see how it goes next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway before we put the 47 in the chase. But certainly running out of time for some of these drivers to make their move.
And it's crunch time for these drivers, like you said, that are on that bubble spot. So, there's going to be no room given, especially if, Dorsey were to see Andrew in his mirrors or Paul Turner is trying to pass one of them. You're going to race them as hard as possible because that's a big swing of points, even though it's one position on track. But, it's or a handful of point swing just for it.
All right, so for the second time out here tonight, we're going to restack. We're going to repack the field. Field doubles up coming through turn 3 here at Pocono Raceway behind the iRacing.com pace car, looking for the green for the second time this evening here.
Sean taking the outside probably didn't like the way the inside lane felt, so we'll see how his restart is. And a lot better one as he's able to beat the 28. Well, no, here comes Bill Jetty on the inside as he raced down in turn 1 side by side for the lead.
Side by side, the entire field coming at you down here into turns 1 at Pocono Raceway. Sean Hook trying to hold Bill down there and get a big power run. That big momentum run out of turn number 2.
Yeah, and especially having the high sides you see right there, Bill's not able to bring his car all the way up, compromising his exit speed, so he's able to fall into second place as Don Carter's playing the pass for third, and Brian Dorsey's trying to get a pass back into fifth spot with Jeff Doss on his outside in the 00.
And keep an eye, John and Chris, the first guy with tires out here is Tyler Beeman, followed by Andrew Kotska. Basically, everybody from 9th on down, the top 8, ending with Mike Stiverson, are still on their original tires. We'll see how much of a difference those 4-lap fresher tires make as the run goes along here.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of those Mad Sim cars there, right behind Jeff Dotson. So, yeah, they're catching up pretty quickly already. It looks like anyway, and hunting down these leaders.
Last time by for Tyler Beeman ran a 59.43. Sean Hook, your leader, ran a 59.68, so about 2/10, a little bit more than 2/10 better than your race leader currently with those 4-lap fresher tires.
And I will say, looking at Sean and Bill as they're close right now, they're not really battling. They're just trying to set a good pace to go out there, while Tyler there is really trying to push his car to get a good speed so he can hurry up and pass these cars and work his way up through the field.
Sliding back a little bit back here, you got a Hornet's Nest coming out of turn number 3. You got 2, maybe 3 wide, headed down the front stretch here. Going on board with Jeff Dotson in that 00 Dodge.
Yeah, right in front of him, we go ahead and see Brian Dorsey on the inside of Kyle Nady going down into turn 1. Nady's going to have actually the preferred line going in. You can carry a lot more speed into it, but he carries a bit too much and sails all the way up there where it's very light gray. There's a huge bump and the car will not grip. Brian's going to try to slide up, unable to shut the door. That's going to give Kyle a really good run on the exit as Jeff has the MSR Army train going on his high side to the tunnel turn. He loses 2 positions in there, just overwhelmed by those MSR cars.
Yeah, Jeff Dotson, the first car, being attacked by those fresh tires. Tyler Beeman leading that charge, trying to come through, and now him and Andrew Kotska gets almost side by side out of the turn 3. Little bit of a hit for the 47 Tyler Beeman with a big swing down to avoid additional contact between, but now they set sights on Brian Dorsey, Kyle Nadeau, Bill Jetty, and Sean Hook.
Something we'll have to keep an eye on for the 47 car because a little bit of aero damage will send your car to handle completely different and wrong, and you start wearing your tires out more, trying to compromise for that lost speed.
Yeah, and Chris knows that as well. I mean, you get into the wall out here and you wrinkle up that right front fender, it's going to not only slow you down, but it's going to make that car tight.
Yeah, it's going to definitely make it tight, and then you're going to lose all that speed down the straightaways, and you're just going to start fading back slowly. So you definitely, the trick here is to keep that nose clean, keep it off the wall as much as you can.
Brian Dorsey's still battling hard. Oh, he gets back into the wall again. That's twice. That's going to be very bad handling now.
It's very...
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very uncharacteristic of the 47 to be making these mistakes out here.
Pushing too hard. I mean, we talk about the pressure of the points, and that's something that happens when you see a driver who's just trying to get too much out of the car. He's going to send it into the wall normally on the exit of the corners because you're just picking up the throttle way too early.
Headed back up to the leaders right now. Bill Jetty has reeled in Sean Hook for the lead. 10 laps in here as they work a lap number 11 out here. Bill Jetty now half a car length off of Sean Hook.
Yeah, they're gap third by a lot now, and like I said, Bill's not really interested in passing. He's just going to hang out right behind Sean, manage his tires. Very smart way of handling this race. Be there at the end. No reason to pass for the lead right now. He already has his lap led.
Yeah.
He's kind of showing Sean that, hey, I'm still here, so you're not pulling away too far. 'Cause that's one of the tricky parts of Pocono. You want to save your tires, but you don't want to give the car in front of you too large of a gap that you just can't close up when you have pressure tires.
Yeah, and that's what Bill's able to do right here. He's able to determine how much he wants Sean to push his tires. If he just rides right behind him, you see him closing from a 5 down to a 4, down to a 3-car length gap, headed down here down the Long Pond straightaway. And Bill is able to determine how hard Sean Hook is going to push his car.
Early on, that would be nerve-wracking, but for Sean, you soon have to realize that he's not trying to pass. And I think if, as we see, take that back, Bill goes on the inside entering turn 3.
I think he saw a little blinking and wanted to maybe get around him.
Yellow flag over the speedway for the second time out here tonight. Field comes around to complete lap number 12, start lap number 13. And at this point, John, I definitely think that we are going to see most everybody come down pit road and get some fresh Goodyears on these machines.
Oh, definitely, especially all those cars, especially the ones from the last caution. Andrew Costco is going to go down there, even use his fast repair, I'd imagine. And, you know, yeah, get new tires. It was a good battle out there. I don't know if they're within fuel limit yet. I would imagine not. So if they were going to green, we still have one more pit stop out there. I believe the second caution was from Anthony Hanna in the 69 on the exit of 2. Just gets into the wall, and another car was right behind him, and unfortunately spins out there.
Yeah, found it here. Thank you, John. At turn number 2, actually looks like some heavy contact between the 3 and the 69, and Anthony Hanna getting the short end of that stick.
Yeah, just trying to avoid the outside wall, and unfortunately Cole was there. Nowhere for the number 3 car to go, and gets into him.
All right, Sean Hook going to be leading the brigade of drivers that come down pit road out here as we go around to complete lap number 13. John, something we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, keeping our friend Crank Bell in our thoughts and our prayers. We're going to dedicate lap number 14 to Crank Bell. Hopefully he can get out here and rejoin us very, very shortly, but we'll go ahead and drop all those hashtag do it for cranks out in the YouTube chat box out here tonight as we follow these cars down pit road. Looks like Cole Gray elects to stay out here. That's going to move him up, and Sean Hook wins the battle off pit road right behind Bill Jetty. Bill was just getting ready to make a move on the 188, so we'll have to see if he's able to manage his tires again and put fire on the 188 as this run goes along here.
For Cole, that staying out that lap was just to solidify the extra bonus point. He's just a bit ahead of Paul Turner, so that extra point gives him a bit more of a breathing room. So I imagine we'll see him come down this lap.
Yeah, I gotta imagine he's coming down this lap because right now he's currently the only car that has not pitted in the race just yet. And I mean, we saw the difference between the 3 lap difference of tires, and I gotta imagine that Cole is going to come down here this time by. But we will find out here if Cole does make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. Looks like he's passing pit road again.
Okay, so he's staying out. That's going to be a big shakeup on the front row here. You know, maybe for Cole, he's thinking how many cautions we've had. If we have another caution, it might be within fuel window, and he can make it to the end. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, John, but I can't tell you how many times I've been bitten by it. You know, you see a trend developing with the race that there are some, quick hits of yellows, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'll stay out and I'll lead a few laps and wait for the next caution. Maybe I can hold on to a top 5 spot here. And then we run to the finish. So Cole has to be hoping that they run about 5, 6, maybe 7 laps. He's able to hold on to a relatively decent spot and then make a pit stop because he is certainly going to go backwards in a hurry if I had to take a guess.
I mean, would you take that risk if you were him? He's saying fifth in points at 167, only 8 points ahead of Paul and sixth on the bubble line. So it's a very
Uh,
interesting risk with someone who doesn't have that much space. I mean, you do have some to give, but with 2 races to go, I would try to be a bit more conservative than.
Yeah, I don't want to be. If I'm Eric Moore, if I'm Bill Jetty, they're pretty much locked into the chase. They can pretty much do whatever they would like out here. But if I'm Cole Gray, I don't want to have to go into Atlanta and worry about where the 7th place driver is going to finish. Um, so interesting call by the 3 out here to get some track time, maybe get some track position, see if that helps as well. But I think if I was Cole Gray, I think I would have come in with them and just followed the pack. But we will see how it turns out for Cole Gray and that 3 machine. Everybody comes through the gearbox for the 3rd time out here tonight. Cole Gray, Sean Hook headed side by side down into turn number 1.
Cole gets a very good start on those old tires, able to clear Sean entering turn one. Bill Jetty's going to look on the inside, checks up Andrew as well, as Sean's going to be on the high side. Battle for second with Cole Gray pulling away. Oh, hang on to it, Bill.
Big contact towards the back of the field. Paul Turner, Anthony Hanna, Brian Dorsey. Brian Dorsey, one of the bubble drivers that we were talking about. Scott Crouch also involved in that in the 68 machine. Paul Turner, Anthony Hanna still trying to get those cars pointed in the right direction.
Oh man, that's a massive wreck. I have to go back and rewatch that one, but really good job by Cole to stay out in the lead. Still is in number one with the caution, even though Sean was battling with them side by side. Really good break.
All right, so we're going to back this up, see if we can't find exactly what happened. Looks like Brian Dorsey gets a little loose and then more contact as cars come into the camera frame here out of turn number 2. We'll go on board here with Brian Dorsey.
Paul Turner involved, Brian Dorsey involved. Lot of not a whole lot he could have done. I mean, Brian does the right thing. He got loose, hit the wall, and kept in the wall, but yeah, nowhere Paul Turner can go. Crashes right into him, and mayhem ensues afterwards. 69 there. He's probably done. He already got involved in a massive wreck.
Yeah, I do believe Anthony Hanna already used his one fast repair on the evening out here, so I gotta imagine that that is probably going to take him out of the race, but we'll see how he comes down pit road here and what kind of damage he's able to get. But so Cole Gray was looking for a quick yellow, but not that quick.
No, and you know another person that's actual benefit is David Gainforth. We now see him in 10th spot with Paul
Who?
Turn and David Gainforth.
Oh, gotcha. In the 101 car, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, David, for mispronouncing your name all the time. It just brought up to me. I'm really bad with names. I do apologize for that. But yeah, with that, those wrecks with with the wreck of those two cars, that puts them in a really good position to gain some points as well to get into the chase.
Yeah, and pulling the points up here real quick, taking another look at them as we run around under caution out here. David Gainforth currently just 9 points out under Paul Turner currently. Paul Turner sitting 17th on pit road. David Gainforth uh, currently running in the 10th position, but Brian Dorsey also chasing Paul Turner. Andrew Kotska also chasing him as well. So if I'm Cole Gray, he's got a little bit of a point swing to play with that you were just talking about, John, a minute ago. But I mean, it worked out for that caution, so we'll see how it has to work out for this one as well.
I would imagine anything past lap 20 is in his optimal zone, and is just right before it. So he'll have to tough out another restart and fend off Sean Hook and all these fresh tire guys right behind him. Another guy having himself a quiet night, Don Carter in the 53, is going to be restarting in the third position there. Uh, Also fourth in points, so solidifying his run. He's on fresh tires with the leaders, so
Yeah, Dalton's had a really quiet season. He's yet to be able to find his way into Bullydog victory lane, but very strong showing for him out here this season so far. He's had 4 top 10s and 2 top 5s, most notably coming at Dover, where he finished fourth. Uh, but Dalton Carter currently sitting in the fourth in points right now, and he is all but good to get into the chase after next week's race at Atlanta.
if you are Don there, Cole's on older tires. That is your teammate, but how much would you risk going to turn one? You see Sean on the high side. He has had the best car, but he's also struggled on the restarts as well.
Well, I think it's still early enough, John, that you can still cut some slack here. If we were restarting with 10 or even 5 laps to go, if I was Dalton Carter, I would approach this restart a little bit differently if I had Cole in front of me. But there's still more than half the race remaining out here tonight from Pocono Raceway out of Long Pond, Pennsylvania, that these guys can still go out there and find their way to the front, find their way to the back. But I think there's still time that Dalton can be easy with his teammate here.
But it would be a good lesson to learn. Go out there and see what also old tires can do. How much can you fend off for maybe a stay out late, fend off the field.
Eric Moore, your points leader, has found his way back to the lead lap. Eric Moore currently sitting in the 13th position. Scott Crouch currently showing 1 lap down. The only car 1 lap down. Going to try to hopefully get another quick caution for Scott Crouch, get him back on the lead lap. But there's a bunch of guys out here that don't want to see a caution. Probably all these guys second on down that just came in, got 4 fresh tires, and now they're looking to get a green flag run here and make use of that 3 car.
Yeah, this restart is going to get just as tense as the last one. Cole Gray still sitting duck on those old tires, about right 10 plus old tires, so we'll see what he's able to do. With the pace car going off, green flag back in the air. Cole Gray not as good as a restart. They're side by side going down the front stretch.
Green flag comes back out. Andrew Kotska goes 3 wide, 3 maybe 4 wide going into turns 1 here. Dalton Carter playing very nice to Bill Jetty going down there. 2 by 2 coming out of turn number 1 here. Sean Hook on the top side going to be using that big momentum run. Bill Jetty going to be pushing the top lane.
Sean's going to clear Cole there as they go into turn 2. Bill J is going to try to get past Cole real quick so Sean doesn't put a big gap between him and the leaders. So it'll be crucial setting him up here into turn 3. Bill J is going to look low, probably have no real problem making the pass work with a lot gap from behind, but Colgray putting a little bit of fight on the outside.
Tyler Beeman trying to fill that gap right there, almost getting the door closed on him. Dalton Carter gets into the outside wall, a little bit right behind them. Some damage on that right side of that AC Delco. Do it for Crank 53 machine.
Yeah, Andrew Koskins going to get by. Cody Richardson's going to get by as well. That's a really hard lick for the 53 car. We can see the damage already. Really scuffed up the right side. As Kyle Nady goes on the outside of him on the exit of 1. Cole Gray and Tyler Beeman battling there for the 3rd position. Exiting 2, Tyler's going to try to get a run down the inside for turn 3. Make it work like Bill J was able to the lap before.
Yeah, Cole's actually doing a really nice job of keeping those tires under him and trying to do position management right here, right? You know you're going to lose some spots, but how far back do you go? Right now, just got passed by Tyler Beeman in that 3rd spot. Now Cole Gray comes across the line to begin lap number 22 in the 4th position as he's under fire from Andrew Kotska.
Yeah, I don't believe he was actually involved in the caution before, so he was already in the back of the field with the wreck there, and stay out. It's going to be a positive gain no matter what, so from where he was previously. Cody Richardson having himself one of his better runs today, passing his teammate Andrew Koska in turn 2. That is a battle for 5th position.
Jamie Capehart, a name we have not said all night long. Very strong last week at Bristol Motor Speedway, ultimately getting caught up in somebody else's mess and unfortunately having to retire that 141 machine. Earlier than expected last week at Bristol, Jamie Capehart's running strong in the 8th position out here tonight, finding his way forward. Last time by, Bill Jetty was actually the fastest car on track, but Jamie Capehart was only about a 10th off of Bill Jetty. So Jamie Capehart, once again, looking to be very strong.
Yeah, it's a really good time to show it as well. He's in the top 10, working to get in the top 5. Kyle's Nadu works to cross over, take on the inside of Andrew Koska. Andrew seems to just be losing the grips of the tires after a short run, being way too aggressive, in my opinion. So that's why you see Kyle Nadu able to clear him, and now Jamie Capehart working on the 6th position. Sean and Bill checking out, and Tyler's trying to close the gap as the top 5 start to begin to gap from one another.
Sliding back here a little bit. Battle heating up on the track between Dave Gainforth, Paul Turner, and Zach Jahalis as they come through. Turns 1 at Pocono Raceway here. The entire field coming by in a flash.
Technical difficulties. But Paul Turner and Brian Dorsey working their way up through the field as they're in the looks like 11th and 12th space or place. So, you know, the little bit fresher tires. Eric Moore's right in front of him. We just said he got the lucky dog. Now he's in the top 10. So that's a really good run by all three of those drivers.
Yeah, and
That's
this.
one thing I was just going to say that
Sorry.
Dorsey's a man on a mission right now because he obviously was involved in that last caution there, and he's making his way back up as quickly as he can.
Tearing through the field.
And you know, John and Chris, this has been a familiar song and dance for Eric Moore. Past couple of races, Eric has been involved in an incident and had to use that fast repair. Goes a lap down, gets back on lead lap, works his way back up through the field, and we'll have to see if Eric can continue his march to the front once again here. Still side-by-side battle back here for the 11th position.
Zach in the 24 is cribbing his nose in there too, ready to pounce for whichever lane works between the 101 and 00. As now we see the 24 clearing Jeff Dots on the high side of turn 3 onto this front stretch.
Big battle here for the race lead. Headed down into turn number 1. Bill Jetty has caught Sean Hook and now puts him under fire. Through turns 1 and 2, Tyler Beeman waiting in the weeds.
Yeah, Tyler's closing the gap, probably putting the pressure on Bill, so Bill's putting the pressure on Sean. And I will say, quick note, Cole's still sitting in 4th place, has not gave up time, but has not given up a lot of track position. Really good job fending off with those old tires.
Yeah, really nice job by Cole, doing some great position management there. Now, as we cross the halfway point of this race, Cole does have that track position. So if we do get another caution here, all these guys will come back down, get 4 fresh tires, and that's going to net Cole probably about 12 or 13 spots, which is a huge gain here at Pocono Raceway.
Bill just had a big moment out of 3. Full sideways coming onto the straightaway there for him. He's really pushing it, trying to get back up on Sean's bumper.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Sean and Bill both had a big moment. They're all the leaders are getting at it as Tyler closes the gap even more on the backstretch going into turn 2.
So Chris, you and I have raced here around each other enough. When Tyler Beam maybe grabbing the wall there a little bit there, where is the best place for somebody to set up a pass here, Chris?
I still think for me it's that tunnel turn 2. You can carry, if you can keep your tires, carry the momentum into there, and then that exit of 3 and get that run. And so you set up the whole straightaway to get that run, get on their corner panel, pull them back a little bit, and just have that inside line going right into turn 1. That's, for me, that's where it's always been, where I've been able to set up the most passes. It all starts way at the tunnel turn to then make a pass in turn 1.
Yeah, long straightaways here, and you get a good run out of turn number 2 or 3, and you got 5,000 feet that you can go ahead and try to reel that guy in here, but all about the momentum and getting the good corner exits out here tonight. As you see Cole Gray once again now falling under fire. Cole slips to the 6th position.
It's all about that corner exit too, and as the tires start to wear, you'll notice here they should be pushing that apex in turn 3 even later and later, and kind of going a little bit deeper dive-ins and cut the corner down and almost kind of do a diamond type approach to it to get that runoff onto the straightaway as the tires continue to wear.
Yeah, Cole, we see some of the cars like the leaders, they're going to be struggling a bit. Cole Gray's struggling even harder with how worn his tires are. So to be able to fend off for this long, he's doing a really good job managing the wear and the lap times inside as Bill J's closing the gap once again to Sean Hook.
Looking back at that 28 machine, Bill Jetty once again putting the heat on Sean Hook. He was able to reel him in the previous run and really chase him down, but Tyler Beeman still waiting in the weeds. I don't know if he's just letting these two guys play right now and say, I'll let you guys burn your stuff up here, as Bill Jetty gets a big run, much better than the 188 off of turn 3.
Notice Bill too, going into the tunnel turn, was doing the famous trick of just sticking right behind Sean, not going for the pass. That generally makes the car in front go a little bit deeper into that corner and can get you set up for that exit a little bit better and make that pass.
Bill Jetty in the 28 machine takes a look down low on the inside of the 188, headed down the Long Pond straightaway, side by side, clear the 28 into turn number 2.
Yeah, Bill J has had a much better car the last 5 laps. He did a really good job conserving his tires, let Sean try to work on his lead, but kept him within arm's reach and clears him real quickly as he going to lead this lap, exiting turn 3 now.
Big contact
in the wall.
That's going to allow Tyler to get a really good speed up on him and probably make a pass entering turn 1 here.
Be interested to see how far back Sean will fall now, if there's enough gap there to where he can maintain a third, or if we're getting another caution where he can come down and get those repairs made and get back out there.
Well, with just 20 laps remaining here, Chris, are we good on gas, or do these guys all have to come back in?
I think with that last caution, I believe we should be good on gas. The 3 may be a little bit of a stretch, but we should be probably good on fuel here. It's more on how willing you let those tires continue to go and slide out of the corner.
Bill J's already starting to build a little bit of a gap over Sean as we saw him hit the wall hard. So we'll be interested to see how long he's gonna be able to hold off or what kind of damage he has on that car. Tyler not really able to get up to him, so it doesn't look like it's gonna affect him all that much.
Got a little bit of a battle brewing towards the back of the pack right here. Paul Turner, Brian Dorsey, Zach Chahalis, and David Gameforth. Throw him in the camera frame as well. All battling for the 11th spot. Eric Moore in front of them, currently still running in 10th position. Going to be a solid points night for Eric if it were to end right now. But Zach and Paul side by side through one.
Yeah, Brian falling back a little bit. We saw him in the top 10 a second ago, but no, he seemed to love. They've been stagnant here in these positions, but a really good battle between all three of these guys. Brian and Paul in a really good points battle, so Paul's going to want to get by Brian as here entering turn 3.
I'm looking at Brian's car to see if I can see any damage because he has fallen off. I heard a little bit of a radio chatter. Sounded like there might have been some contact somewhere. I'm kind of looking. The front end looks fine. Only piece I'm seeing is maybe that left rear corner panel. Looks like it's got a little bit of an indentation to it, which could be throwing off the car as well. But yeah, he has fallen off, which makes me think there may be maybe a little bit of damage at play here.
Well, then it's also a mental thing. Where, like, say if you're racing a guy really hard and then he
Oh.
hits you,
Oh!
like that.
Well, we're going to send race control down to go handle that.
Coming back.
So Chris Wold heads down to
That
the-
just kind of looked like Zach just had way too good of a run in the middle of one there and overrun the 9 car.
going on board here with the 24 machine. We're going to see exactly what Zach Chahalis saw going down here now. Brian Dorsey doesn't look like he gets loose, doesn't look like he gets tight. I don't think Zach overdrove the corner. Maybe I'm not entirely sure what happened there. So we'll back that up one more time. Headed down here from the back of the 9 car. Don't think he gets loose. Let's listen to his throttle here.
Yeah, he didn't get on the throttle either. Just looks like Brian maybe a little bit worn tires. I mean, we noted that his time's really fallen off, and Paul was battling with him. So maybe he's giving Paul some extra room and didn't calculate the right speeds on the high side, and Zach did and overran him. Definitely wasn't on purpose hit, but a hit nonetheless.
All right, the iRacing.com pace car. They fire that Volkswagen Jetta up. That car is going to come out onto the speedway here tonight and put us under caution for the third time out here tonight. Bill Jetty, still your race leader by Sean Hook, Tyler Beeman, Kyle Nadeau, Cody Richardson, your top 5.
Did you call this thing a Jetta? I thought it was a Kia.
I thought it was a Jetta.
I thought it was fake and it's not a real car.
Well, whatever it is, you know it is not fake.
Is it Bullydog coffee?
Is the Bullydog Coffee. You can head on over to bullydogcoffeecompany.com, use promo code APEX, APEX, for $5 off a coffee order, or head on over to Freedom Loving Tumblers. They're also giving us a coupon code out here tonight. Veterans and first responders, they get 10% off their order from Freedom Loving Tumblers using promo code ThankVet10.
So, John, right before this caution, you were asking, and I think Tom as well, if they were going to be good on fuel. That's now out the window. Fuel tires, they're going to be good to go. But I will tell you who this caution helps the most is that 1E8A of Sean Hook. Because now he can come in, he can get that damage fixed. So any gap that Bill thought they were going to have by him coming to the wall, that has now been erased. And we're going to have a pretty good battle, I believe, now for 1, 2, and 3 between Bill, Sean, and Tyler. All up there with Sean being able to get that damage fixed now and everyone coming out on fresh tires.
Yeah, Bill looks like he definitely has a lot better of a long run car compared to the field as we see Bill wins the race off pit road. But It'll be interesting to see how short, because we're going to restart with 16 or under 15 laps to go. Sean has had really good short speed. Tyler's had a decent car. Kyle Nadu's up there in the top five. He's shown a lot of good speed today, so it's going to be really good, interesting battle for the checkered flag. And
Field.
Cole Gray, he was able to flip up, stay in seventh position as he coming into the pits, so that was a really good job by him.
Yeah, huge win for the 3 right there, doing some great position management, and he is going to enter the pits in 7th place. We'll see where he comes out. Right side's up, right side's down, left side's up, left side's down for the entire field down here on pit road. Close battle off of pit road, give it to the 28, followed by the 188, Tyler Beeman in 3rd place. What do you say? We got these caution laps take a minute around here. What do you say we try to grab one of our drivers here tonight and see if we can't catch up with somebody? All right, Bill, you got the triple threat out here tonight. Tom, John, and Chris out in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
All right, Bill. Well, we're watching you here. Are you already on one to go? No, you're not.
Yeah, we just got the one to go.
Oh, well, all right. Well, we'll make this quick then. All race long, you've had a great long race car. Now you're going to be restarting here with only 15 laps to go. How are you going to have a good long run car with only 15 to go?
I mean, I just got to get out in front of Sean at the start of this restart and just go. If he can fight with Beeman and Nadu, I got a good shot to at least pull ahead a little bit. I would get probably a good about half a second to a second lead on certain restarts. So if I can do that, I think I've got a good shot at this one.
All right, Bill. Well, best of luck. We're going to kick you out of here. Sorry, I thought we had more time, but best of luck. Hope to talk to you in another 15 laps or so.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks.
If we had more time, I'd be really interested to understand the going and selecting the inside lane on this restart, because so far it looked like that outside lane has been where it's at. But a little interesting choice here to go inside. Wonder if he feels he's got a better pusher behind him in Kyle versus or no, they're flip-flopped, so maybe a better pusher in Beeman than Kyle.
Well, then I think also Sean has not had the best restarts overall, so I don't think overall it matters for him. So just pick on the high side. He's going to clear him before turn 1 in his mind. So.
And you know what else Sorry,
Go ahead.
John. I was just going to say, you know what else I think it might be is that Bill has raced around Tyler for a long time. Yes, we are going green with less than 15 laps to go, and I think he realizes that Tyler knows that 15 laps around here is still a very long way, and I don't think that he's as concerned with Tyler maybe sticking him 3 wide or in a bad spot into turn number 1.
We'll see if his strategy pays off as the iRacing pace car goes down pit road. Green flag in the air. Bill J gets a really good start. Looks like he's going to clear him going down into turn 1 as they're 3 wide behind. Paul Turner goes 3 wide with Eric Moore and Don Corner into 1.
Side by side into turn number 1, Sean Hook. Power move on the outside, Tyler Beeman trying to help the 28 on the bottom side of the speedway. Big slide by the 28, by the 188. All the leaders are going to get caught up in this one.
Oh no, that collects just about everybody. Oh man.
I think we gave him the broadcaster's curse.
Sean just tried too hard there. Just put the power down, hope it made a stick on the fresh tires, and unfortunately it did not, and collected a lot of cars.
Well, let's back that up here, John, and see what we can see out here tonight as these guys, Sean Hook, continuing to have some contact with the outside wall. Let's back that up here half a lap and try to find out where this whole thing started here. Find our way. Focus on the 188 out of turn number 1.
Yeah, 188 goes high, really just sends it in there. Probably gets a little too loose as it drifts down, catches Bill J in the left rear corner panel, hooks him dead right in the wall, and essentially just creates a blockage of all other cars. And on the restart, everyone's trying to get. We saw Paul Turner go 3 wide, and then quickly gets collected in that.
One guy that very interested to see his view here is Eric Moore in that 5 machine. Eric has already used up his 1 fast repair. He thinks he sees a hole, and then that hole closes just like that. Really unfortunate for Eric Moore, and I do believe that he's used his fast repair already, and that's most likely going to take our points leader out of the race here, although he's still under power.
Still under power, but I can't imagine it's a lot left in the car. I mean, the whole front end's just pushed right in. So I imagine his night's pretty much over for any finish. Bill Jetty, even though we saw him get a big wreck, unless he accidentally used one of his fast repairs, should have one, so his car could be cleaned up. It'll be a short end of the race, but probably still gonna have a lot of excitement. I think even like Tyler Beeman in the beginning of that got some damage, so we'll see if he goes down pit road here to get it fixed. But yeah, we see a lot of cars with damage going to be taking a hard left to the pit road.
All right, race control has returned back from the tower. Chris, a lot of carnage out there.
I never thought we'd say we saw the big one at Pocono, but that was definitely a big one there. Lots of carnage, and I think John, you kind of hit a big point there. How many cars accidentally burn a fast repair? Although it looks like a few of these cars I'm watching here were able to get their repairs done. Their team's doing awesome work, get their cars back out there and running. But I'm fairly sure some of those back half guys that were just involved in the cleanup there are going to be stuck with some damage and hanging out on pit road for a while.
Yeah, like I believe we saw Andrew Koska hit the wall hard, so if he used his fast repair earlier, now that's gone, and he had a lot of wreck, and with him being so far into the points, this would put him out of it now. Um, Brian Dorsey, I believe, got involved in that. We saw him use his fast repair. So yeah, or no, I think Brian Dorsey got through it. But yeah, there's Paul Turner though. We saw him get killed, and he's done for the race.
So now we got
Yeah.
some names up here, Chris and John, that, yeah, Tyler was there, Cole was there, Brian was there, and then he was not, and then he came back. But now we got some names up towards the front of the pack. Jamie Capehart, Jeff Dotson, Cody Richardson, all drivers in the top 6. Going to be looking good here as we're going to be going green here, probably with about 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Cole Gray was up there with the old tires, so this is the first time where he probably has a car that can attack instead of defend. Tyler Beeman, we don't know what kind of damage he has, so it'll be interesting to see. I still say this race is wide open for anyone to win. If you're a Jeff Dotson or Brian Dorsey or Cole Gray, I would expect to see those guys be very aggressive on this restart. Especially someone that wants to get a win or wants to get some points. It's the best way to do it right here.
Now let's slide back. Let's take a look at Bill Jetty here. Bill was able to go and get a fast repair done. Bill is, I mean, it's not a great situation, but Bill is going to be restarting in the 7th position with 9 laps to go, I do believe, next time by. 9 laps is a long way around here, so don't count out Bill, don't count out Sean Hook still on pit road, it looks like. But a lot of these guys still going to be trying to find their way to the front, and there's still a lot of time for them to do it.
Yeah, Kyle Nady was one of those guys that was involved in the wreck. He's right behind him in 8. So, Bill Jetty, Kyle Nady will be guys to keep your eye on. Looks like Andrew Koska, Sean Hook are at the very end of the lead lap, probably severely damaged. But yeah, I don't imagine them winning. It's be really hard to pass that amount of drivers this late in the race, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened.
And crazy things happening, crazy things brewing. Paul Turner currently out of the race. I do believe that's going to knock him out of the 6th spot, the final cut spot in the championship hunt, as we have 1 race remaining after this. Next week, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Next Wednesday night, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. We will be back on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network to bring you the final regular season race of the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series race from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
iRacing pace car going to take the hard left down into pit road. Tyler's going to lead the field. Green flag in the air. Really good restart by Cole, but nowhere really to go with Jamie Capehart struggling. Brian Dorsey goes on the inside of Jeff Johnson to make it 3 wide. Bill Jetty going in the middle. Tyler Beeman clears everyone into turn 1.
Side by side, headed down into turn number 1. For the 40th time out here tonight, Cole Gray slides up the track a little bit, 2, maybe 3 wide out of turn number 2, with Cole Gray, Cody Richardson, and Bill Jetty trying to march his way back forward.
Yeah, Cody Richardson really making it stick 3 wide. Cody's trying to make a pass on Brian Dorsey, goes low, cuts back high, and Cole Gray going to make it work on the outside. Jeff Dodson in the tunnel turn.
Out of turn number 2 here, this time by going to be less than 10 laps to go. Brian Dorsey, Cole Gray trying to march their way forward, and marching their way forward is what Bill Jetty is doing. Makes a big 3 wide move down there in turn 3. Slides on up, clear by 2, and he's got the 3 in his sights.
Yeah, now he's up in 6th place. Kyle Nadeau going to make a pass on Cody Richardson going down into turn 1. Tyler Beam and Jamie Capehart able to put a little bit of a gap between them and the leaders. But not a big enough gap. Tyler's going to really, you're going to run as hard, as fast as you can on these laps. You really got not a lot to save.
The man on the move right now, Brian Dorsey, trying to get around Jeff Dotson for the 3rd place and put himself in a position that if we get another restart, he'll be on the inside line currently. Cole Gray once again following Brian Dorsey down there. Bill Jetty continuing to march his way forward, but Bill Jetty starting to run out of time here, but he's got a great long run car, but he's never had to push it the way that he's doing here in this short restart.
Yeah, we're going to be creeping up on where we at? 7 laps to go right now. 8 laps to go. So 5th place working on, or 6th place working on 5th, going into turn 1. Can do it, but it's going to have to turn out some really good lap times here.
Yeah, he's gonna have to really pick up the pace. I think he got a little bit pulled back there in the dirty air. His car was definitely did not look as comfortable. I can see him making moves now, but even at 8 to go, that's a long gap to close.
You know, and his car's only going to get stronger as this race goes on. We've seen him, Sean Hook will get a good early lead, but he would always reel him back in. But, you just don't want to waste too much time battling like he is right now with Jeff Dawson for the 5th position, allowing Don Carter to get up on his rear bumper.
And battle, you say, battle I give you. Battle out of turn number 3. Brian Dorsey moves up into the 2nd spot. Cole Gray has found his way into the 4th place, and Bill Jetty has moved into the top 5 here, this time by 7 laps to go. Does Brian Dorsey have time to get to the 91?
Oh, definitely has plenty of time to get there, but passing him is another thing, and this track's been really hard to pass, so he's going to put up just to get there, you're going to waste a lot of your tire energy, or tire efficiency, and passing him, you're going to be really hard pressed to be, especially Tyler. He's been on a really good tear as of late.
Yeah, we just saw Brian Dorsey about, 15 laps ago getting turned into turn number 1, and now he's in contention to win the race. Last time by, Brian Dorsey was 0.3 faster than Tyler Beeman. We'll check the times again once at rented lips. That's what they call those. We'll check the times at the start-finish line this time by and see where Brian compares to Tyler in the 91.
Well, I can tell you what, he did gain a lot. Lost in turn 3, but I'm pretty sure he gained a couple tenths right there.
0.2 faster for Brian Dorsey that time by over Tyler Beeman. Bill Jetty currently running a 56.79, so he is actually running a little bit slower than both Brian and Tyler. Also back in traffic, so you got to take that into consideration. But looks like the battle is going to be heating up, and the battle for the win will be between the 91 and the 9 here.
Yeah, for Tyler, he might be just trying to save his tires, knowing that, once Brian gets there, that's when the race will really begin. So no reason to really push too much right now. Make sure, everything's going good as get ready to get to 5 laps to go.
Well, he's there, John.
He's there, but you're going to have to get a lot closer to be able to make a pass. These races are so long that just being that close, you need a little bit more speed, and the engines are pretty much topped out once you get near the end of the straightaways.
Tyler doing his best to break that draft too, deep it down low so he can't get it.
Doing some IndyCar lines.
Last time by, 4/10 better for the 9 over the 91. Big run out of turn number 2. 1.
Yeah, Brighton's able to rotate a lot better in the center. We saw him pick up the throttle more and just close that gap right up to get on his bumper on the exit of 1.
Now the second fastest was Bill Jetty, but I still big push there, but he was second fastest on the track that lap.
But I mean, you see on picture, all 5 of those cars are really close to one another, so it's possible. Tyler's going to do as much as he can to block, which is only going to allow Jamie to catch up, which in return is going to allow Cole and then Bill.
Yeah, it's all going to be a matter of how quickly Brian is able to try to work around that 91 machine. If he's able to get around him here in the next lap or two, I think he's going to be able to set sail and walk away from them. But if they get to battle in here, which we know Tyler is no slouch, they get to battle, and that's going to bring the entire top 5 under a blanket.
Yeah, and we see Tyler, he just kind of turns his car left. He's not blocking, but he's going to make Brian really commit to that path. And Brian just doesn't feel that comfortable yet doing so with 4 laps to go, looks like. Oh, Brian gets a little loose in the tunnel turn.
Don't say Brian Dorsey's not pushing it. Big slide out of turn number 2 for the 9 machine. Tyler Beeman stretches it from a 2 to a 3 car length lead. Now Jamie Capehart with the big run into turn number 3. This time by, give us 3 fingers up. We're going to be going 3 laps to go.
Jamie just threw it down into turn 3. Exactly what he needed to do. Close the gap, get in the draft. Going to have a 3-car battle for the win.
Now, Chris, you were saying a little bit ago that you want to set these guys up in the tunnel. If you're Brian Dorsey, how do you set him up in the tunnel?
Well, it's kind of like what he was doing on that last run where he got a little bit sideways, right? You push them into that corner, make them think that that's where you're going to dip down on, and you just try to control the car as best as you can as the 91 is going to try to go a little bit further. So there, I think Dorsey's a little bit too far off, right? Kind of what John's been talking about. You want to be right on their bumper going into that turn, which will send them up a groove or two, and you just maintain your line through that, and that'll give you nice momentum going here into turn 3. Just hit it and then just stay right there. He's close here, but still not close enough to get that run. I don't think that's going to make any impact for turn 1. But to me, that's what I would be trying to do. Not work him anywhere else. Get right on his bumper going into the tunnel turn.
Popsicle sticks in the air, this time by 2 laps remaining from Pocono Raceway in the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series. Out here tonight, Brian Dorsey with a 1/4 on the inside of the 91.
He's got a much better turn 1.
He really does get to that corner a lot better than Tyler does. Got on his right side door right here. Tyler's going to really try and make it stick to the tunnel turn, but Brian's got the preferred line going into it. But on the
now, he's got to clear him. He's got to clear him because Jamie Capehart's right there.
And that's the thing, too. Here at Pocono, you could really make the outside work because since everything's on exit speed and how long these straightaways are, that cutting off that low line's ability to go up, as we see Brian's really going to pinch him, sliding and trying to find all the grip, but there's really just not enough there, so Tyler's going to have the faster car in the straightaways.
White flag out this time by Brian Dorsey. Tyler Beeman side by side into turn number 1 for the final time out here tonight. Jamie Capehart riding in the back of this camera frame here, and he's going to continue to close as Brian Dorsey, Tyler Beeman stay side by side out of turn number 1.
I think Tyler just tried to send it through the middle, wasn't able to stick. Brian's going to clear him. Now we got a battle for second place. Jamie Capehart looks like might even clear him going to the tunnel turn. See if Jamie can throw the car and try to catch Brian.
Really impressive run for Brian Dorsey to be able to go through the field like that. And 15 laps ago, he was wrecked down in turn 1, and he's got one more corner to go, and he's going to come away with a big checkered flag.
Yeah, he knew when it was time to go, flipped a switch, and burned through the field. Exit turn 3 very clean, crosses the line, get his first win ever in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Star Series.
What a run through the field. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step away for about 2 minutes. We're going to get your top 3 podium finishers out here tonight, and we will be back for the Cyber Thunder post-race show. All right, back here live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network for the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series out here tonight. Tyler, familiar story out here. You're coming home in a third place finish. Talk us through that race and how you had such a strong battle with Brian there at the end.
It was a lot of fun. I feel like I left it on the table there, but I gave it all I could right down to the end. I was surprised. I got really lucky. I avoided that big one towards the end and had a position in the lead. I was feeling good that long run and on the longer run, but I was just a little out of sorts on this final little 10 lap shootout we had. I knew Brian was catching. I knew he was probably going to make the move. So I was going to hope for a crossover, but then Jamie was right there. So he got right under me, and that kind of eliminated that crossover. And it was a fight for second from there on in the final lap.
And a battle it certainly was, and it's certainly you guys put on a great show coming to the checkered flag. When you're battling Brian like that, you're watching Jamie get closer. With 3 or 2 laps to go, you know it's kind of like management there, right? How are you gonna not only still contend for the lead, but make sure you don't have a third player coming into that frame as well? What could you have done differently, maybe when you were battling Brian there side by side for those couple of laps?
We there on I think with 2 to go or so, we were side by side for a little bit, and I think looking back, I should have just hit the brakes, let him go, tried crossover, tried to work on him, and keep a little distance from Jamie, and at least I could have held P2. Racing really hard with him, Jamie got right up with us and was able to sneak up right in there into P2. But I keep the streak alive of podiums at least, and talking to you guys.
Well, yeah, you definitely do, and you're certainly making your way up the point standings as well. Next week we go to Atlanta Motor Speedway. You're going to try to find your way into the top 6, or what are your expectations for that?
Anything less than a top 3 is a disappointment.
All right, well, Tyler Beeman once again coming home with a third place finish out here tonight at the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Tyler, you know the drill. We're going to open up the floor. Anybody you want to thank, friends, family, sponsor, anybody on the side of that number 91 machine.
Well, hashtag do it for Crank, still on the cars, and they're going to stay on the cars just like everybody else in the league. Into the Apex podcast, Mad Sim Racing. Check out intotheapex.com. I'll be doing a podcast from Mid Ohio Speedway in real life on Sunday.
All right, well, Tyler Beeman going to be drunk broadcasting down there Sunday from Mid Ohio. But Tyler, congratulations once again on yet another podium finish out here tonight. Hope to get to talk to you again next week from Atlanta Motor Speedway. But congratulations once again. We're going to kick you out of here, let you go celebrate with your team down there, and we will catch up with you another time.
Thanks, guys.
Hey Jamie, it's Sean. Can you hear us, bud?
Yeah, I've got you.
Hey man, third place last week, second place this week, inching closer, man. It's gotta feel pretty good back-to-back weeks with the podium.
The way the race started off, I wasn't sure that was going to happen. There at the end, I really needed the run to be a few laps longer. It felt like my car kept getting better as the run went on.
Yeah, you seem to put yourself at the right place at the right time. You were able to get through that wreck. Did you knew then that you had yourself a real shot, or were you just more got a good finish, don't mess this up kind of mentality for it?
I knew there was a good possibility. I wasn't sure if there was enough laps. I felt like I would have been better if we had a 15 lap run instead of a 10. I just felt like my car kept coming and I just ran out of laps. It was starting to come to me there at the end. I was starting to run them back down and just ran out of time.
We did a really good job optimizing on Tyler Beeman there to pass him after turn one, the white flag. But you know the drill. This is your moment to thank friends, family, sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank Major Sizemore CPAs. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, make sure you do that by Monday. They're going to be late. And my wife for letting me do this all the time.
Well, there you go. That's your second place finisher, Jamie Capehart in the 141.
All right, we'll kick Jamie out of here, let him go celebrate with his team, and we're going to make our way down to the number 9 crew down here. Brian Dorsey coming home with the big win out here tonight. Brian, Tom, and John up in the cyber booth. You got us?
Gotcha.
All right, Brian. Well, that was a heck of a run to the checkered flag. On that restart, I think you were starting, what, fifth or sixth or something like that. You marched your way through the field those final 10 laps, and ultimately you come out here with the top 10. Walk us through those last couple laps that you were racing really tough with Tyler.
Yeah, of course. Before I get started, I just want to say, continue our thoughts and prayers with Crank Bell, our fellow league mate here. Pocono is just a track that fits my driving style. So I knew if I got up there, I could compete for it if I could just get out of my own way and not run in the walls or have a bad qualifying. So Pocono is just one of those things. Just take your time. A lot of guys get loose off the first corner. They struggle through the tunnel. That seems to be my strength on this track. So I knew if I just took my time, I can get them one by one, and if time permitted, I can get up there and race for it.
Well, you guys certainly did that. You guys certainly put on a heck of a show down there those last 5 laps or so. 15 or 20 laps ago, though, you were stuffed up in the fence in turn 1. Did you think that you were going to be able to march through the field?
No, I thought it was over after I wrecked myself getting off one. I got in the wall, and then thank God for the reset, and I was working my way back up through, and then two guys decided to move me out of the way. So I hit the wall. I didn't have a lot of damage. I was able to fix it. Then there was that big wreck off one, so I was able to get some spots there. And then a couple guys came down pit road there. That last caution, which shocked me, which gave me a few more spots. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had a chance.
All right, well, Brian, coming home with your second win of the season out here in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Star Series. You're going to be getting a pound of coffee from Patrick and our partners over here at the Cyber Thunder Racing League. Congratulations. We're going to open up the floor. Anybody you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, anybody on the side of that 9 car you want to say hello to?
Like I always appreciate the Bullydog Coffee Company letting us come out here and race, and their support of the league. Appreciate the league. Appreciate the league. The guy race with the guys, a bunch of good guys, and like I said before, thoughts and prayers to Crank and his family.
Certainly going to mirror those sentiments from Brian Dorsey, the big winner out here tonight from Pocono Raceway. We're going to kick Brian out of here, let him go celebrate with his friends and teammates down there. John, that was a barn burner from Pocono Raceway. Brian Dorsey comes home with the big win, and let's try to do math in public here. So Paul Turner was on the bubble coming into tonight. Paul Turner's going to finish 18th. Brian Dorsey coming home with the win. That's certainly going to leapfrog him. David Gainforth coming home 12th. and Andrew Kotska also having a rough night. So I think Andrew Kotka's ship has sailed with his hopes to get into the championship hunt.
Yeah, this is pretty much just as a maybe Paul Turner can get back into it, but Brian Dorsey really is going to jump up into the top six. You're
Yeah,
going to need a big effort from those three guys and a bad race from Brian and Elena for some of them to get in.
yeah, and what a run to the end of the regular season it has been. We will get the points and everything updated, but we're going to go ahead and start running down your finishing order out here tonight. Brian Dorsey, Jamie Capehart, Tyler Beeman, your top three, followed by Dalton Carter, and Kyle Nadeau comes home in 5th place from Pocono.
Sixth place, Bill Jetty in the 28 had a really good, strong run. Not the finish that he was looking for, though. Cody Richardson, 7th place. Sean Hook, our pole sitters, finishing in 8th. Cole Gray, decent run, falls back to 9th. And Jeff Dotson rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, Jeff had some late race muscle there. Unfortunately, did fall back to the 10th spot. Just a couple laps remaining. Mike Stiverson comes home in 11th in his first Bullydog Coffee Company race of the season. David Gainforth comes home in 12th. Scott Whiteman has a solid night in 13th place. Points leader Eric Moore has a less than stellar night here at Pocono Raceway. He unfortunately got involved in 2 accidents, not of his doing. And Anthony Hannon, that 69 machine, he's coming home in 15th.
16, Scott Cratch will start our driver's seat, finish the lap down. He was 3 laps down. Andrew Koska on a 47. We saw him getting that really big wreck on the exit of 1. Our last caution, unable to really rejoin the race, 9 laps down. Paul Turner could not finish the race, 13 laps down, 18th. And to round out the field, Zach, the 24 is going to be 18 laps down in 19th place.
Yeah, rough night for Paul Turner, rough night for Zach Chahalis, but want to give a shout out to Chris Wald for joining us out here on Track Out tonight from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Chris, it's very thankful to have you out here. You guys do an awesome job helping us out with these broadcasts for Bullydog Coffee Company, and certainly looking forward to the remainder of the season.
Me too. I've enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to being up here with you guys more and more races and multitasking these races. And let's see what Atlanta can bring next week. Final race of the regular season. Get these points up tonight. I'm pretty sure we have some big shakeups that are going to take place.
Yes, we do. John, any closing thoughts from Long Pond?
Man, this race put out a lot more excitement than I think any of us expected. Great entertainment the drivers put on. Atlanta's going to be a very tricky track with all the tire wear. It's going to be interesting to see what the final points are going to shake out to and lead into the chase.
Well, we will be back next week live from Atlanta Motor Speedway for 75 laps around that mile-and-a-half speedway before we set all the points. We restack, we repack, we bring all these guys into championship contention. But for John, for Chris, for Crank in our spirits, we're going to go ahead and do it for Crank one more time next week from Atlanta Motor Speedway. John, Chris, it's been an absolute blast out here tonight. Let's do this again next Wednesday night.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for having us.
Bye.